In our prayers to the Divine Lord Krishna this morning, we appeal to Him that you are He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate. You are the friend of those who are in distress. Jagatpate, you are the Father of the universe. You are the friend of those who are in distress. Our subject today will be on how do we relieve distress. How do you and I become what is called the reliever? Hitakari. To be the reliever of the distress and pains and sufferings of others. Now, we all know our pains and sufferings and our distresses. Do we know of others people's pains and sufferings and distress? If we do, then the subject that I want to address today, what can you and I do to relieve the pains and sufferings of others? Now just imagine this concept. If everybody was trying to relieve the pain and suffering of the other person, then no one will have any pains and sufferings because we'll be looking after each other. So the question of what does it take to be a reliever or hitkari? If we were to stop looking at ourselves and our desires, our wants, and start looking after the desire and wants of others, how is that possible? दूसरों को दुखरा दूर करने वाले. To give and to care about others more than we care about ourselves. And why is it to be more? Is that because we need an imbalance of that giving nature. We want to give more, that is, we want to contribute more to the world rather than have the world contribute to us. Now, at a certain state of our lives, when we are from the child stage to about 13, we are basically consumers, right? We're basically eating, sleeping, drinking, and everybody's providing for us. But from the time we become a teenager to when we start, and I want the teenagers to pay careful attention, those who are 13 to 25, to think that, okay, I have been taken care of from 1 to 12, somebody was feeding me, clothing me, doing everything for me. Now, what can I do to help that process? How can I start contributing to the process rather than only consuming from the process? So do I start doing things to help the process? Do I start to help to prepare my own meals? Do I start to help washing the dishes? Do I pick up the dishes from the table? Do I put my clothes away when I'm finished changing? Do I pack my room up? Do I make up my bed? Do I sweep the floor? Do I vacuum? Do I clean the car? Anything familiar here, people? I'm looking around, I've noticed children are bowing their heads and parents are looking up, okay? As such, the contribution factor has to kick in. And when you're contributing, by the way, you must never be, oh God, I'm too tired, oh, I'm bored. You must be enthused, because you have to remember from 1 to 12, those who were looking after you, they were not bored or they're too tired to look after you. No mother ever said that, I'm too tired to feed this baby now that's crying. They will jail her if she did that. So as such, we have to start thinking and have the frame of mind that I am a contributor. I can contribute. Because many of the time we hear our people say, I don't know what to do. I can't do anything. What can I do, Mom? You can only do what you decide you want to do. We hear about child labor in the world. That in certain parts of the world, children are working from the ages of 7 and 6. And they're making all of those nice t-shirts that we wear in North America. They are running the silk mills and all of these places whereby they make all this cloth, and it still continues to happen. And in North America, we have children who are 18, 19, and 20 can't even get up on time to go to school, much less get up to go to work. They don't even know how to make toast. They can't turn their bed as such because they have not developed the nature of giving. They're still in it. I'm wanting. And we, the parents, of course, we are the biggest perpetrator of the crime. We encourage it. Oh, give them, please. Oh, yes, let them. Be nice. We are being nice rather than being wise. To be nice and not to be wise is a dangerous thing in the world that we live in. As we nurture the minds of our children, remember, the way we treat our children and the way we set an example to that is what is molding their minds. And that is how they perceive this. Now you'll say, Panditji, they understand that they have to do something someday. The question is, when is the someday? When does that happen? When they get married, by that time their spouses will throw them out of the house because they don't do anything anyway. So we have to work from the age of 13 or 12 on to that 25 years to make sure our children understand that yes, you need to be a contributor. And it doesn't mean we have to send them out to work. No. Because the minute you send them out to work and they're earning their own salary, they think they're gods now. They're bosses. They have their own money. I don't need you, mom and dad. I can do whatever I want. I don't have to get money from you to buy gas. But you can still pay for the car. And you can pay for the insurance. And you can pay when it breaks down. But yet they feel they're gods. So it is not getting them out to work that you want to do. You want to get them to accept in their mind that they can contribute to the family unit, to the extended family unit, to the society, and to humanity. They can do this. And it's only in so doing can we help and care and relieve the griefs of others. Now the foundation principle in developing this thought process in the minds of our young people is that we have to build a foundation of that there is someone who cares for us all the time. Other than our parents, we have to accept, we have to impart into their mind that God cares for all of us all the time. And by the way, He works 7/24. 7 days, 24 hours a day. He doesn't stop. Can you imagine if God decided, I'm tired, I'm going to take a break? The world, the earth is not going to rotate for the next 2 hours. For today it'll be good, we won't get any rain. But if He just says, that's it, I am had it, I am going to take a break. But no, He's consistent in that His things are moving in only one direction. He doesn't say, okay, we'll rotate the earth backwards tomorrow. No. Everything is always going. Where is it going? Forward. Always to an improvement and a better state. In our lives, we need to nurture in the minds of our children and in our minds. I do not want to use this word responsibility because it's bandied about so much we don't even know what it means anymore. We could use the word ownership. Because our young people like to say, this is mine. We want them to take ownership of the act of giving and caring. I must take full ownership that I am a giver and I am a caregiver. When I take ownership, it's mine. And I will do my best to achieve that, to care and to give. In the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna is telling Arjuna, Sri Krishnaya Vasudevaya Govindaya Namo Namah यज्ञदान तप कर्म न त्यागम कार्यमेव तत् यज्ञोदानं तपश्चैवा पावनानि मनीषिणाम्। श्री
कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः।
भगवान वाच यज्ञ दान तपः कर्म। यज्ञ sacrifice, dan giving, tapa meditation, karma good actions. Yajna dana tapaha karma na tyagyam. Do not give up these things. Do not ever give up yajna dan tapa karma. For yajno danam tapa karma pavanani manishanam. He says the wise person knows that by doing yajna, dan, tapan, karma, they become pure. And the purity here means they inherit peace of mind and tranquility at all times. Basically, it comes down to that simple word, they're happy always. That's purity, by the way. That's the purest state of human existence, when we are happy at all times. You know, many times people come to Mandir, and some of you might remember this. I might have done this to you. You walk up and I put it to luck, and then I say, look at your face, and I said, Muskurani, and then you smile. I said, you're not smiling, and then you smile. By me saying you're not smiling, you smile. But somebody had to remind you to smile. Because you have no cause to smile. Or there's nothing in your mind that makes you want to smile. You know, if you have food in your mind, anybody look at you, they'll see food all over your face. You look hungry. If you have joy in your mind, they look over you, they'll see joy. If you have sadness in your mind, what do they see in your face? Sadness too. Our face is the index of mind, the cathode ray tube that projects what is in our computer. It's the projection screen. It glows very brightly what is in our mind. So thus, we have to remember that in order for us to enjoy that purity, that total happiness, we must give, and don't stop giving. Now, everybody will think, Pandit is talking about giving money, you know. You know, there is a unique thing in this Mandir, and I want to share it with all of you, if you don't know it already. When we started this Mandir, and who is here? Sita is here, who may remember this. Some of the challenges we had when we started the idea of a Mandir about 25, it's more like 30 years now. We were of a group about maybe 12 families. And we were all young families. All of us had children who were 1 year, 2 years, 3 years old. And we decided that we should have a Mandir. At that time, I was very involved in the Vishnu Mandir. And when I say very involved, I used to go there every Sunday. I was involved in initial stages. I was not a Pandit. I was struggling to sing, and I'm still struggling to sing. And I used to go to Mandir. But I always say to the people there, look, we should have a Mandir that where children are the key. That we must focus on children. Oh, yes. And then one day I was told by someone, if you think you can do it, go and do it. So we did. But the problem that came up, that when we started to work on this Mandir, how are we going to pay for this Mandir? Where is the money going to come from? It's a big question. It's a good question. Well, the truth of the matter is we had no answer. At that time, amongst the families that we had, there was about 30 to 40 children who I was teaching music. And what can I teach them? I didn't know anything myself. But whatever I knew, I was teaching them. And they were coming to classes, and nobody was paying for classes. It was all free. So to make a long story very short, we went through many stages. We made an attempt to buy one building once, and then we cancelled it. Because everybody got chicken. How are we going to pay for it? And then we went back and we bought another building, and then I said not to worry about paying for it. We'll take care of the payment. And I told all the parents who were bringing it, I said, you all have to pay for classes. And out of that, we were getting about something like $600 a month. The mortgage was about $900 a month, I believe, for the building that we bought, and was a unit. And therein lies that the mortgage payment was coming, so nobody had to worry about they have to give so much money a month to pay for the mortgage and things like that. And then when we started doing satsang, wherever we would go for satsang, whatever aarti money was collected and still is happening, all comes to the mandir. So we never had a problem for paying the mortgage. And no one had to worry about I have to give so much a month. And from that time, we made a commitment, unwritten but official, that we will not beg for money for the mandir. And so doing, the mandir grew. But what I said to everybody, I said you have to remember that every one of you, or all of us who have agreed to work for the mandir, must remember you're an executive second. You're a servant first. You're an executive second. Your number one job is you're a servant. And if you're prepared to serve, then you can call yourself anything afterwards. But don't call yourself an executive if you can't serve. So you must be a working member and contribute. Roll up your sleeves to do whatever has to be done. And serve. Just give, give, give. And I believe that they have done a good job, haven't they? Give them a big hand, please. So with that thought in mind, we maintain that philosophy and we continue to give. This mandir's philosophy is service and programming. That is, always have something happening and provide the best service when it's happening. That's what we have. When people come to this mandir, there is always one thing they say, it's amazing how organized you guys are. Only if they know. But we seem to look organized. Our pandits are always well dressed, you notice? White and kurta, shawl, hair comb, tilak, everything. They're always up to date. Prasad is nicely laid out. Did you notice that? It's actually arranged. They pack the bananas in piles, nicely organized. The prasad is packed neatly. They're standing there with smiles on their faces. I want you to go visit some other mandirs and tell me if you see this. Okay? And then when you come, there is always someone there at the reception or here to talk to you. And they are there willing, and all of the other volunteers are always nicely attired. They're always there. Our Kirtan Mandali, sometimes they're late, but they're here. The Pandits, once in a while, is late like me. But when we are here, we do our best to produce what we can, all with one objective. We want to give of our time, our talent, and our skills so that others can benefit. And everyone who comes to this mandir benefits. Even if they come and they leave, they still benefit. Some people come, they take the benefit and then they leave. And we say happy for them. Since this mandir has started, at least 6 other mandirs or 7 have grown out of this mandir. And they're all doing very well. We are still here. I think the philosophy is a key factor. To give. To give. So, today as we leave here, ask ourselves these questions. Where is there I have an opportunity to relieve the pain and challenge and trials and tribulations of another person? Where is there an opportunity to do this? And how can I do this? Ask myself, how can I help? If you ever find yourself saying that I could have helped, but they didn't ask me, that's when you take your slippers and you slap yourself in the face. And you wake up and says, am I saying that I could have helped, but they didn't ask me? There's a contradiction of philosophy there. If you can help, you don't need to be asked. Thank you. If you want to help, then go out there and help. And you know what? Some of the best volunteers and workers and servants of the mandir are the ones who came to the mandir, started to help, didn't ask for position, power, authority, just help. And then today, they are showing others how to help. They became involved, they engaged themselves, they are following the philosophy of yajna dana tapa karma pavanani manishanam. They are wise to know that if they continue to do, they will get joy and they will bring joy to others too. Sri Krishnaya Vasudevaya Govindaya Namo Nama. Bolo. Sri Krishnaya Vasudevaya. Let me leave everyone with this thought. Sometimes because you're doing, others may take advantage of you. Oh, just give it to them. They're nobody, let them work. And then you might feel that they're using you. Well, let me tell you something about this act of using. I always use this example of the harmonium. You know the harmonium? I got a new one. It doesn't sound that good, you know. You see that little old one over there that she's playing? Put your hands on it. That's been around. It's got about 10 years. It's actually falling apart, but boy, it sounds so nice. You know why it sounds so nice? We use it a lot. The more you get used, the better you become. So, like the harmonium, say, use me, no problem, because the more you use me, the better I will become. Use our children too.
Violin too same way.
Violin too the same thing. More you use it, better it become. But remember, use our children. If we don't use them, they cannot grow. Don't feel that you're giving them too much work to do or they're overloaded. They are never ever overloaded. They have unending capacity. I'm sure you're not sending them to do farming. Even that will be good for some of them. But they have unending capacity and energy to do beyond your imagination. You must open the door of opportunity to them to do, to give, and to serve. If you don't, you're failing as parents. It is one thing to give your children everything and then to do not to give them anything of value. Remember, to be used has value. Like the harmonium, the more it's used, the better it becomes. Sri Krishnaya Vasudevaya Govindaya Namo Nama. Bolo. Sri Krishnaya Vasudevaya Govindaya Namo Nama. Name Sri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki.